If you love movies, you probably know that they have pictures and sound in them. That's not the line. I'm sorry. If you love movies, you probably know that image and sound go hand in hand. They work together and support each other, each doing their part to tell the story.
She's got to talk into the mic. I can't pick it up.
We've noticed a pretty common pattern, specifically on set during production. So much time and attention gets put towards camera that production sound is often treated as supplemental or an afterthought. We wanted to see how much the time, effort, and attention put towards production sound, that is, the sound recorded on set, actually affects an audience's immersion and perception of the final product. So we set up an experiment. We decided to shoot one short film in two different ways, one emphasizing picture and the other emphasizing production sound. Production number 1 is shooting on a red Epic Dragon on a 24-70 Canon L-series lens with a mounted Rode NT5 cardioid condenser mic recording directly into the camera. Production number 2 has an iPhone 6s Plus and no accompanying lenses, with a Rode NT5 cardioid condenser mic mounted onto a boom, recording into a Zoom H6 recorder, operated and monitored independently from camera. Here's a quick breakdown of the equipment costs. If you purchase the iPhone, they end up being about the same. The idea here is that production number 1 was given a better camera package, but had only very minimal control over their sound recording. Production number 2, on the other hand, had a very minimal camera setup, but much more control over their audio. We used the exact same model microphone for both setups. This is because, rather than comparing one microphone to the other, we wanted to measure the impact that simple care and attention to production sound have on the final film.
Okay.
To keep this experiment as controlled as possible, we had to make sure every single variable outside of camera and sound were constant. This way, the performances, angles, lighting, direction, and timing would all remain exactly the same. The only differences would occur in the quality of camera and how we physically captured the sound.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, so here's the questions that we wanted to answer. What are the markers of good production sound? Is good production audio necessary in order to create and design good sound in post? And is picture or sound more responsible for an audience's immersion into the film? So let's go over what we discovered while shooting. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about what you use to record. Recording straight into camera versus recording into a separate audio device. Making audio adjustments on your camera takes time away from doing other camera adjustments you might need to make for picture. On the other hand, when you have a separate sound device, you can make picture and sound adjustments at the same time between takes, which ultimately saves time. I say the word time a lot. Alright, so now let's talk about microphone placement. A boom, for example, will let you get the mic really close to your actor where it will usually capture the clearest, best sounding audio. A camera mic, however, is stuck wherever the camera is. Depending on your camera angle and your blocking, sometimes your actors can be pretty far away from camera. That means with an onboard mic, your sound might be bad for part of or the entire shot. For example, let's look at this scene where we see Joey outside the building through the windows.
Nailed it. I'm in. And that's not why they call me the wizard.
Because people sound better when they're closer to microphones. Usually. Onboard camera mics can often have more background noise and inconsistencies between shots, which can be pretty distracting when you add them together. Let's look at this scene, for example.
Okay, now open the gate!
Thanks for your cooperation.
You can hear the noise change between these two shots, which is pretty distracting. Here's the same thing on the boom.
Okay, now open the gate!
Thanks for your cooperation.
Here the problem was less pronounced, not only because the microphone was closer to the actor, but the microphone was angled so as to reduce the undesired noise. Sometimes an onboard mic will work just fine. This is typically when the camera is close to an actor in a very quiet environment.
Find the painting and get out. Find the painting and get out.
And in the case that something doesn't sound great, a sound person can catch these problems as they happen.
What are you waiting for, Joey? That bike. That cool bike.
So we're shooting outside right now, and one of the advantages to having, me monitoring sound independently is I can let the whole crew know if there's some cars going by that are being, a little too loud.
So funny, you've got your stupid painting.
Thanks for your cooperation.
Hey, hold on.
And, these are things you can hear without listening through the microphone that we're using. But if your attention is on other things, like, if you're an actor, you're performing, if you're
Just,
shooting or directing, you may not really notice. So it's good to have someone here who's like, hey, we got a problem. And they can either request an extra take or request wild lines. Yeah, can we get a wild line for that? Because we're hearing the dolly when we're pulling back.
Yes.
Cool. For example, let's look at this scene where Joey's walking towards us from down an alley.
What? So you can lock my butt in movie jail for the rest of my damn life? What? So you can lock my butt in movie jail for the rest of my damn life?
And here's another example.
Check for a secret hatch under the floor.
Cool, can we get one more for sound, just a wild line, Will?
Sure, do you want the...
Yeah, can we do that again without the papers?
Okay. Easy, Scoma, you'll set off the alarm. Check for a secret hatch under the floor.
Sometimes on-set sounds may be difficult or extremely time-consuming to recreate in post, and these sounds can also be recorded wild. Joey and I went down the hallway, stepping on everything to get each individual sound. That way when we get into the edit, we can add in the sounds of everything, he's passing by to help play up the comedic moment thing.
What he said.
Instead of having to re-record them later. Since our focus here was to compare production audio, both versions of the short used the exact same sound design and it was done in the exact same software. That way they're identical other than the production sound being different. In other words, we can see how much good versus bad production audio impacts an overall sound design mix and the overall final product. So this is what I call garbage in, garbage out. Clean audio is like a well-exposed image, and it maximizes your creative options in post. Well-recorded audio is easy to manipulate to fit your story's needs.
Ah, crap. There's a keypad here. Ah, crap. There's a keypad here. Ah, crap. There's a keypad here. Ah, crap. There's a keypad here.
The general rule is the better quality the recording, the easier it is to transform, or in many ways, make sound worse. If you think of a heavy voice effect like a telephone or Bane or Kylo Ren's voices,
Mr. Wayne. Search him.
that kind of processing is possible due to a good quality original recording. However, if your original recording already sounds like garbage, there's not a lot you can do.
What? So you can lock my butt in movie jail for the rest of my damn life? What? So you can lock my butt in movie jail for the rest of my damn life?
There's a big difference between making something artfully unintelligible and something being unintelligible just because it's complete poop. So let's answer those questions. Number one was, what makes for good production audio? Well, good production audio is a clean recording of the actor's vocal performance and other key on-screen sounds with minimal noise, which are any unwanted sounds like environmental noise, crew noise. Question number two was, is good production audio necessary to create and design good sound in post? Well, as we found, the garbage in, garbage out rule definitely applies. There's not much more you can do for bad sound than to try your best to save it. That's pretty limiting creatively. And number three, is picture or sound more important in an audience's immersion into a film? Well, you tell us. We made 2 shorts. Go check out both of them and experience the differences for yourself. If you find that you're distracted or pulled out of either of the films, pay attention to what caused it, how much of an effect it had, and for how long. Then come stop by our forums and let us know what conclusions you came to and why. We'll share some of our own thoughts too. We'd like to thank Dolby for sponsoring this lesson on sound with us. Okay, bye.